guess that's just what I look like. It's raining today. I was gonna go to like some botanical gardens with one of my partners, and then it started raining, and so decided to rain check. Haha. And I've been wanting to do this for a while, and it's been like 5 months, and I keep putting it off. And I need to do it. I feel like I need to. It's like one of those things that like I feel like will be good processing, and I'm also just like excited to help people learn. Granted, if people watch this, or if like, you know, granted if anyone is interested in watching this series. But I've just been like thinking a lot about next steps after graduating. You know, I'm working right now, but it's on contract, and so I'm trying to figure out what I want to do. What's today? 20th. I just remembered that I need to apply for something later today. If I get it, I'll tell you what it was. What was I saying? Oh, figuring out next steps though. I've been like trying to figure out what I want to do. I feel like there's a lot of changes in my life right now, and I feel like I still am not stuck, but I do really enjoy, or I did really enjoy, the identity of like being a student and learning. And though I do like higher academia, I feel like it is not always accessible, obviously. Like, not everyone can afford to go to college, and I wish that wasn't the case. Especially, like, I mean, I feel like some places, you know, it's like free to go to college, and so it's a little more accessible. But I live in the US, and in the US, it is not accessible to go to college. So this is kind of my way of combating, I guess, like the system of inaccessibility to higher academia, but also like helps me process stuff, helps me remember things that I learned in college because I was in it for so long. Reminder, I was in my undergrad for 9 years, so that's a lot of time to spend in college. I'm not going to say wasted, but I am going to say maybe I wasn't the best student all the time, but in the end, I feel like regardless of what I did or didn't do, I feel like I absorbed a lot, and I don't think there's anything wrong with living slow, and I'm trying to be okay with that. Anyways, I grabbed one of my notebooks. I grabbed this one. So in case you didn't watch my intro video to kind of like what this series I guess is going to be about, is I have like a stack of, not all, but most of my college notebooks. I always like took notes of like extra things I wanted to look up, and I didn't, and I just kind of want to look up those things now on camera so other people can also learn alongside with me. And then also just like, I don't know, obviously not give like too many details, but give like some insight to kind of like what some of my classes were and like what my experience was as a college student. Yeah. And so I'm forcing myself to do this because all my other plans got canceled. So I'm like, just do it now. Yeah, I guess we can get started. I guess I should probably introduce myself. I'm Oni Rex, and this is Rex Creations. The title that I kind of figured I wanted to use, it's probably the title of this right now, but I was trying to figure out, like, for series reasons, like, what did I want to call this? And so I was thinking about calling it I Went to College So You Didn't Have To, because I was in there for so long, and not everyone wants to do it, so I thought that was kind of a funny thing. I was also trying to think, like, if I was a YouTuber and like I had an audience, like what would I call y'all? And I thought like scholars would be cute, you know, like sub scholars, you know, because like learning's important. I don't know. Anyways, so we'll get started on my first actual video of this because I'm doing it. Anyways, okay. So first notebook. This is, let's see if it has a date. Mind you, some of my notebook. Okay, so it'll be like some of these, because like, you know, some classes you take notes and some classes you don't get to take many notes depending on like how professors are. So like some will have like a little bit, and then I just had like nothing. So let's go and figure out what year this is. Okay, so August. So this is a fall semester. Fall 2019. So this is my first notebook, or for my first semester when I went to university, because I went to community college first. I didn't do 9 years at university. That would be like crazy expensive. I went to community college from technically 2013, but 2014 to 20 2019, and then 2019 to 2023 when I graduated with 2 bachelor's degrees. But yeah, so this is fall 2019. So I guess I'll like explain. So I would always like collect stickers of like stuff that I either like came across during the semester, like whether it was necessarily like my stuff I did or not. Like I just put whatever stickers were handed to me because when you're in college, you get a lot of stickers. So I want to say I got this like random investigation police one at like a Pride because there's always cops at Pride. Her Story Matters and Love Your Body. These 2 stickers were from one of the student life centers at my university that was around like feminism and gender equality. And then this Black Excellence sticker, which is from the student life center at my university that was catered towards the Black community. Obviously, like anyone could go to any of the like centers that they had, but you know, like demographics that they like had more like resources for and whatnot. Dice Fairy, I was very consistently playing D&D for quite a while with my coworkers from like an acting job I had. And so it was fun because it was a bunch of actors that played D&D, which always makes it more exciting. Rainbow the Nat, San Diego Natural History Museum sticker, I think also from Pride because you just get a bunch of random stickers when you go to Pride too. And then this spider tattoo sticker that I believe is from, I want to say, my now fiance's friend's tattoo shop. I'm pretty sure. Oh yeah, because there's an ad on here. So I will go ahead and link that person's Instagram site. Victor, he's very cool. He tattooed my foot. I'm sorry if it was stinky, but yeah, so that's the stickers. I don't really understand what that first like little bit of notes were, so we'll just go ahead and get started with whatever started my actual chapter of this notebook. So this is Sociological Theory. So this is also, look how pretty my notes are. So pretty. But sociological theory is kind of like the, like, I guess, meat and potatoes of when you're, like, gonna be a sociology major because you have to, like, understand theory and, like, where schools of thought, I don't know if it's, like, necessarily right terminology, but, like, schools of thought come from and, like, how to analyze different situations based off of, like, different types of sociology. And, like, sociology, at least to me, is kind of, like, a mix of history and science, so you're kind of looking at like history of like people and stuff, and then if you want to do experiments you can apply scientific method to that. It talks about the rise of sociology, different parts of history, covering different sociologists like Emile Durkheim. I'm just gonna go ahead and like list these things on the screen as I like say them, because also like I feel like I said this earlier, but the goal of me creating these videos is not to gain traction to teach people, but to inspire the drive to want to teach yourself and to learn more and to dive deeper into things and topics and things you find interest in. So while I will be looking some stuff up, I'm still going to be pretty surface level with a lot of things because I just want to show you how much fun learning can be and how much fun like I had learning, and I just also want to relive that and experience that with other people. And yeah, that's redundant, but anyways, we'll continue. So I drew, sometimes I'll like share drawings that I do because sometimes I'll like do little doodles, but this one was talking about subjective reality versus intersubjective reality. And so I drew this little doodle that's like, okay, so this person has their own subjective reality, that's how they perceive the world around them, and then this person also has a subjective reality of how they perceive the world around them. And then the intersubjective reality, it says matter of agreement. So when these two people have when these two people have subjective realities that they are in agreement with, then it becomes an intersubjective reality, and then that's how we kind of communicate that we are perceiving the same thing, if that makes sense. Like obviously nothing's ever going to be the exact same thing for every person, but yeah, so that was a little doodle if you want to see it again. Cool. Learned about Karl Marx and conflict theorists. This is like when I first started university, so I feel like it's a lot cleaner in my notes compared to like other semesters, because the more comfortable you get with college, the easier it is to kind of like multitask. And I definitely was not a good student the entire time. I feel like I'm going through this so quick. Concepts of bureaucracy, critical theory, Herbert Marcuse, and the one-dimensional man. Michel Foucault, because we love a bald queer. I'm not bald right now. I need to shave my head. I actually really don't like the length that is. But obviously there's other really good sociologists too. But Michel Foucault has a very soft spot in my heart for whatever reason. Yeah, we got W.D. Du Bois, also a good one. Dorothy Smith, Patricia Hill Collins. Patricia Hill Collins, I would recommend looking her up. A lot of really, I feel like I touch on her in like multiple of my classes, so someone cool to look up. Weber, Marcuse, I think I said Marcuse already. I actually don't remember all of these people, but I remember Goffman, Dramaturgy. Like, the world's a stage. Like, maybe it's just me because, like, I, had a job where I, like, acted and stuff. And, like, I'm trans, so I feel like I have kind of, like, skewed way of how I view life. But I definitely, I wouldn't say, like, obviously, like, wholeheartedly, like, believe in, like, one particular way of seeing the world or one school of thought or whatever. But Goffman's, like, dramaturgy, the idea of the world as the stage, and, we have our front-facing versus, like, back-facing like selves. I'm not saying these things correctly, I'm sure, but how to look the part versus how you act, I definitely resonate with that one. And like having to figure out like what is the level of like authenticity versus like what is the level of wanting to be normal or not even normal, because like what does that really mean, rooted in white supremacy but like accepted, masking, like passing. There's a lot of things that I feel like fall within that I just like, when I first got into sociology, I was like, wow, yeah, like that sits with me in a way that I understand. Love Judith Butler because I too am someone that doesn't make sense ever when I talk, but also says stuff that I feel like has substantiality. That is substantial. Look up Judith Butler. I forgot for my first like social theory class, we had to like write a paper and like compare. I don't know if it had to be a piece of media, but we had to compare and contrast like two different like leaders in sociological thought and like theory. And so I wrote a paper about Foucault and Butler through the lens of A Bug's Life. And I talked about like Butler talking about like doing gender and the heterosexual matrix and like having to adhere to this like hegemonic identity that revolves around masculinity. And then with Foucault, like the grasshoppers kind of like working as this panopticon, and panopticon being kind of like this potentially like blind but never knowing way of surveillance and having to adhere to surveillance to make sure that you're fine whether or not you know that someone's there. And then, yeah, that was a fun paper to write. Talked about public torture, like the grasshoppers and in A Bug's Life, and power and knowledge, when like the grasshoppers like know that there's like not that many of them, and they talk about that and how the ants could realistically overthrow them, but the ants don't realize that. Yeah, I love writing papers. I haven't written a paper in a long time, but my cat's over here. What are you doing? I would grab her, but she doesn't like when I do that. Come here. And that chapter is done for that class. The next one is Black Feminist Thought, which was also a really fun class. Obviously, like some pretty heavy topics. All of these classes have like really heavy topics sometimes. But I had to take this class in the basement of the library. But I had the most wonderful, brilliant, amazing professor ever. She was great. I love her so much. We're done with that chapter. I'm just gonna do that for now. That was good. Like, I feel like maybe I could edit like a shorter video out of this. If you watch this, I guess, like, let me know if you found it entertaining. Maybe if you have any suggestions of like how I could do things. It took me a while to get this done because honestly it's just hard to get in front of the camera sometimes and get myself in a comfortable groove or position to do things. But yeah, I hope that through experiencing me going through my college notebook with you, that inspired you to want to learn, whether that's in an official like higher academia setting, or just whether it's in a higher academia setting or it's just looking stuff up. Don't ever stop learning. Learning is important and it's really, really fun. And yeah, I guess I will see you in the next one.